Welcome back to Stab the Dragon Productions for episode number 246 as we continue our Canadian Whiskey Tournament Level 2. Coming to you from Fort Worth, Texas on Tuesday, September 17th, 2026, where it got up to 74 degrees and sunny today. Gotta love these Texas winters. A year ago, I conducted a Canadian whiskey tournament of 5 of the top-selling basic Canadian blended whiskeys. Crown Royal Fine Deluxe, Seagram's VO, Canadian Mist, Canadian Club 1858, and Black Velvet. Canadian Club won that contest, but Black Velvet came in second place. This year, we've moved up to the next level and have studied Seagram's VO Black and VO Gold, Canadian Club Rye, Canadian Club 9-year and 12-year, and most recently we've studied the Black Velvet 8-year Reserve. So tonight, we'll have Family Feud number 5 with Black Velvet versus the Reserve 8 years. Head-to-head contest. Which one do I like better? The rules. I've done reviews of both whiskeys, so we will compare all the points head-to-head, but the winner is really decided by the nose, taste, mouthfeel, burn, and finish. And in case of a tie, we look at the price, value, and availability to determine the winner. The contest is conducted with blacked out glasses so that I cannot use the visual appearance of the whiskeys to cheat. And the glass number 1 has Black Velvet, glass number 2's got the 8-year Reserve. At the conclusion, I do give a cocktail to the winner sometimes. So that's, we're really just going off of nose, taste, mouthfeel, burn, finish. See which one would I prefer to drink more often. All right, let's look at the history. Black Velvet goes back at least to 1951, but the history of this brand was a little bit convoluted, and you can get a lot of misinformation, and I don't know. They need to really clean their history up. But the Reserve, it was started in fairly recently in 1991. So history goes to the original Black Velvet for sure. Bottle, label, and marketing. Now, I like the bottle and the label on the regular Black Velvet. I think it's fairly classy appearance. They didn't overdo it. The Reserve, though, has got this chiseled glass look. They both have a medallion. The medallion's up there on the neck for the Black Velvet, but here it's got a spot on the bottle. And I don't know what that is. And this does not have, there's no royal warrant for Black Velvet. So it looks like some kind of a coat of arms or something, but I'm not sure what that is. So really, the bottle for the Reserve is nicer. It's some kind of a hexagon, 6-sided. It's got that chiseled glass. It kind of looks a lot like Alberta Premium. If you look at these two bottles, the chiseled glass. Alberta Premium is round, though. It doesn't have the hexagon shape. But these both come out of Alberta Distilling. So, the same plant, same distillery produces both of these. So that may be why the bottles are similar. But it is, noticeable difference from the basic Black Velvet. However, when you look at the history of advertisements on YouTube, Black Velvet has advertisements going all the way back, 20 years ago. And I remember the print ads from even when I was a child. And there's just not any ads for the 8-year Reserve. So, bottle and label goes to the Reserve. Marketing goes to Black Velvet. So that turns out to be about a tie. Appearance of these whiskeys in the bottle. The Reserve here is noticeably a little bit darker. Does that mean it's got more food coloring? Perhaps. But the 8 years doesn't hurt it. So appearance, I'm going to go with the reserve. Composition, again, both whiskeys are blended Canadian. They're both 80 proof, but the reserve is clearly labeled 8 years old. So I don't know if you can read that or not, but that says 8 right down there. And so for composition, I'm going to give that one to the 8-year reserve for the win. Flexibility, that is, do I like it neat on the rocks or cocktail? I definitely like both of these neat, and I definitely would not drink either of them on the rocks. Neither of them has the proof for that for me. Higher proof whiskeys like 115 proof or something, I might do on the rocks. But I do think that the flavors of the reserve hold up better in a cocktail. So I'm going to say for flexibility, the reserve wins. Now, price, value, and availability gets a little complex. The regular Black Velvet goes for $10.59 here in Fort Worth for that 750. The reserve can no longer be obtained in a 750. I think they are phasing it out to be replaced by a 10-year. On the Black Velvet website, they now have a 10-year up. So they're trying to get rid of this 8-year. And consequently, there's no 750s available, but 1.75 liter of reserve goes for $20.99 at all three of the stores, the big stores here on the west side of Fort Worth. So, you're getting about twice as much whiskey for about twice the price is, about how that works out. So price, value, and availability, I'm going to give the reserve the win for that. Now let's get to these whiskeys. I will start by nosing, going left to right. You'll be able to see the numbers on the bottom of the glass. I will not. Pleasant nose, though faint. Sweetness, maybe some little bit of maple, a little bit of wood. Very pleasant nose. Surprised I'm getting anything, actually. And I don't have a good nose for the nosing of whiskeys. And usually, for whatever reason, the first whiskey I nose, I can usually smell better than the second. But on this one, they're about the same. Getting the same notes. Maybe some hints of vanilla going on there. Very pleasant nose. I'm going to say that's a tie. They do both have the same notes, and they're both fairly faint. So, all right, I'll start with the one on the left for tasting. To me, Black Velvet's got a very distinct taste, and that's one reason I really like it. So I'm getting the sweetness, but it's a kind of a dark sweetness, maybe like molasses mixed with maple syrup. A little bit of wood notes, tobacco, leather. But this is a sweeter whiskey than like Canadian Club. So the sweetness really carries over, but it's sweet in the right direction for me. So I'm thinking pancakes with maple syrup is what I get there. So that's a very pleasant sipping whiskey. And I do not understand the hate that is poured out on Black Velvet by the professional whiskey tasters, whiskey snobs, those who have more refined taste than I do, I guess. Because I really like Black Velvet. Okay, the taste is virtually the same, but I'm going to say the one on the right has got a little bit more of a mouthfeel going to it. Maybe. These are going to be so close. Just a smallest hint of a burn. Black Velvet, to me, has fairly long finish. So I'm getting that sweetness. I'm the wood notes, the leather, tobacco notes. That's all lingering quite a ways. The burn is lingering just a little bit, and it's a very pleasant burn. Very low grade, very pleasant. I think it's a little bit more than mouth tingles. I think this qualifies as a very light burn, which I like. It's one reason I like whiskey. Grew up eating hot peppers and stuff all my life. So I'm going to say they taste about the same, but the one on the right may have a better mouthfeel and finish. Yeah. I'm going to say mouthfeel, burn, and finish goes to the one on the right. Taste is about it's about a tie, but I think the one on the right's got a deeper flavor going on. And definitely better mouthfeel, burn, and finish. Nose was about a tie. So this is really close. The one on the right gets the mouthfeel, burn, and finish. And that's really about the only significant difference there. The flavors are very similar. So man, this is so close. I'm going to say the one on the right is my choice. It's the winner. And I think that this is glass number 2. I think this is the reserve. Oh no, this is glass number 1. Really? Unbelievable. That was glass number 1. See? That's unbelievable. It was so close. Okay. Well, that was a surprising finish. This could have been a tie, but I really kind of thought the mouthfeel on the one on the right was stronger. That's weird. So which is which? No, I got them wrong. And that means that the winner is Black Velvet. The original. That is simply amazing. Not even sure how that could happen. But it was so close. So this is, they're so close that if I did this again tomorrow, I might come up with a different winner. And that happens. I've noticed that happens to me a lot. Is I really can't tell. But if it came down to price, value, and availability, that would probably nudge me towards the reserve. But again, that reserve is going away, and it's going to be replaced by a 10-year. So I don't know. All right, well, we have a winner, and that is Black Velvet Original, because I simply could not tell the difference between the two, and I gave the edge to the mouthfeel here, as opposed to the 8-year. How does that even happen? Does the winner get a cocktail? I reckon so. Stand by, and I will go make a cocktail with the Black Velvet. And we are back with an old-fashioned made from the original Black Velvet. Right there. And I used some Feud Brothers Turkish tobacco bitters. And Feud Brothers Aztec chocolate bitters. In the glass, you can see I have an orange peel and a cherry. And I sweetened it just a little bit with maple syrup, because Black Velvet's already quite sweet. And I really get those tobacco bitters on the nose. But this is really good. I mean, that's a very well balanced old-fashioned there. My wife took a sip. She really liked it. So she's not a whiskey girl, but she likes these Black Velvet old-fashions. So I made one with the reserve the other day. So this is the regular. And that is quite good. I will say that the nose on here with the tobacco bitters and the chocolate bitters, the sweetness level is definitely tamped down on the nose, and you're getting those bitters. But when you drink it, it's still moderately sweet, but it's very well balanced. So Black Velvet for the win. I got which is which wrong. I thought this glass was the number 2 glass with the 8-year reserve. So this is precisely why you do blind tastings on your own at your house, is so that you can tell what you really like, or if there's really any significant difference. And so for half the price of the reserve, I'm getting something that is just as good. Go figure. All right, so what is next up on the agenda? The winner of this contest will face the winner of the Seagram's VO contest, and that's VO Gold. So I think that's coming up next. As far as what do I do with the loser here, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to think of that. I will definitely try the 10-year-old when it gets out and see if that makes any significant difference. I do know that when I was testing the Canadian Club 9 versus the 12-year-old, the 12-year-old won that contest, but again, it was very, very close. And there was a little bit of a difference in the taste profiles, so that I could legitimately say, hey, on Mondays I want one, on Tuesdays I want the other. And so what I'm finding with these Canadian whiskeys is that sometimes the next level up isn't significantly better than the level below it. So cheers to Black Velvet for beating its pricier brother. All right, this is Stab the Dragon Productions out here.